Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is September 7th, 2024, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the Dow 30, that's DJIA, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only. As we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to these charts and see what we see. All right, the Dow was the one that I thought was going to lead this thing to the upside, but everything ended up dropping because the Dow did make a new high last week, but this week it joined the downside. All right, maximize the sell. On the Dow here on this quarterly chart, on the yearly pivots, we're still above the R1 at this time, so we're still looking pretty bullish and all. But again, we have gotten a pullback. We couldn't break that R2 level and all, so it won't be until a couple of months or maybe next quarter sometime. But that's where we at. On the monthly chart, let's go to the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, we can see here that September has started off red, and we're coming down. The thing is, we know we can come down here to this 10 moving average or 9 moving average, whatever I happen to have on here, and get a bounce. So again, if this market is going to drop, it definitely can pull back. At least we can look at it maybe dropping below 400. It's at 404 right now, so dropping below 400, it's definitely not out of the picture. But again, you're going to be looking at it maybe dropping below 395 if it comes down here and kiss this 9 moving average and get a bounce. So be on the watch for that. Or if you're short, no trade recommendation. These are my targets and all that I'm looking at this time and all. But let's go ahead and go down to the weekly chart and see what we see there. We are getting a bearish piercing type pattern, or you can almost say you get an evening star up here, and all this candle is not quite low enough, so it is looking pretty bearish at this time. All right, on the weekly chart, this is what we see. Again, the Dow was doing pretty good. It was green. It was still running strong. But come this month, we have turned red, and this week we ended up getting the red turn. So now we're getting this drop. We started out above pivot and all for the month, and we came down back. Now we're below pivot. So that's why, again, based on the way I like looking at the market, just the way I look at it, I do expect to get a bounce this month, but it may not be until the last week of this month. So be mindful of your trading plan, your trading strategies, but right now this thing is dropping. So be mindful. If you've gotten stopped out, sit on the side and do what you have to do based on that, but that's what I see right now. But let's go down here to the daily chart and wrap this on up. On the daily chart, the thing is, this was really pretty clear. If you watch my candle thing, some of the basic candle patterns, these basic candle patterns that I gave you are candle patterns that show up in the market all the time. I can say all the time, because here it is again. This is the big evening star here that showed up here. This was like our final push up to an R2 level. Couldn't break it. Ended up closing below it. Then the next day you got below it. And even though you got this doji right here, even though you had a doji here, you had this red candle, you had a doji, there's some other things that people do that I'm not doing on here, but this is how they look at this stuff. But again, you had this red candle, green candle, red candle at a top like this, down, 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 down. All you're doing is waiting for your confirmation, and you could have and again, if you watch, I think I might have talked about it on my indicator thing about how I go about taking trades, or maybe when I was working with somebody, I was telling them about how I go about taking trades in a downward market, but this thing here did give us our confirmation to the downward side, and it's still going down. Come next week, we're going to be opening up underneath pivot. So again, like I say, going under 4 and support 1, and this thing went this past week. It went almost to a support 3 level. So that was it was a pretty big drop, even for the Dow come last week. But come next week, I can see it definitely going to a support 2 level and maybe breaking it, because again, we're at 404. So going to 400 is only $4. And even if you want to look at the big way, it's $400 on the big on the index. on the future contract and all, and it can do that in a week. So getting down here, another $400. Yes, that can happen. Over $800 on the week. Yeah, the market can be down over $800 on the week. That's not a big deal. But again, do you have a plan? Do you have a strategy to do that if it actually happens? The thing is, just be mindful of the market and what it's doing, and be careful and be looking out for that. I'm sitting back and kind of just watching it and waiting for that bounce. That's me. But I'm the bullhead. And that's all I want to share at this time. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys having a great weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.